modulation. So this is the relation between instantaneous frequency and instantaneous phase of the carrier. Okay. Now this is the definition of phase modulation, and these are the instantaneous phase, instantaneous frequency of the phase modulation. Okay. This is a PM equation, general equation of PM. This is about FM, frequency modulation. Okay. So this table gives all the details about theta I of t, Fi of t for frequency modulation and as well as for phase modulation. This is very, very important. Okay. So we use this to observe the waveforms. Okay. Now this is what standard equations of PM and FM. Okay. Now this is how we generate PM and FM. So if you differentiate your message signal and pass to frequency modulator, what do you get? You get phase modulated signal. Okay. In the same way, so if you integrate your message signal and pass through your phase modulator, what do you get? You get a FM wave, frequency modulated wave. Okay. Now, so we also discuss maximum frequency deviation in FM as well as in PM. Okay. So these are the maximum frequency deviations in case of FM and in case of PM. This table also very, very important. Okay. So we do calculations for sinusoidal message signal m of t equal to am cos 2 pi fmt. So this table is for delta f for m of t equal to am cos 2 pi fmt. So next term we discuss is maximum phase deviation in both FM as well as in PM. So this is a table giving details about the maximum phase deviation in FM and in PM. Okay. So this is for m of t equal to am cos 2 pi fmt. So now this is about now equation of PM if m of t is am cos 2 pi fmt. Okay, this is what the equation of phase modulation signal if m of t happen to be am cos 2 pi fmt. Okay. Now this is for frequency modulation. So this is the equation of frequency modulation if m of t is am cos 2 pi fmt. Okay. Now these are the equations of PM and FM for sinusoidal message signal. Here what is beta? Beta is called modulation index. So usually it is more than 1. Unlike for AM modulation where their mu is called modulation index which is typically less than 1. Okay. Now these are the beta formulas. So beta formula is always remember delta F by FM. So whether it is frequency modulation or phase modulation, the formula beta is always delta F by FM. Okay. Now this is beta in case of FM. It is beta in case of PM. Okay. So in both cases, beta also equal to their peak phase deviations. Okay. Sometimes they mention beta or modulation index, or they simply say the maximum phase deviation. Both are same. Okay. Now here, so this is about waveforms of the frequency modulation. You can observe. So the instantaneous frequency of the carrier is changing according to the message signal here. So according to the amplitude of message signal, please make a note of this here. So the frequency of this carrier is changing according to amplitude of the message signal. So that is the definition of frequency modulation. So generally students make a mistake here. What they think is, so the frequency of the carrier changes according to the frequency of message signal. No. What is happening here? So the frequency of the carrier changes according to the amplitude of the message signal. Okay. So here amplitude is more, that's why frequency is more. Here the amplitude is less, that's why frequency also less. Okay. So this is about frequency modulation. Okay. Now phase modulation, I told you already. Here we observe in phase modulation also we observe what variations? Frequency variations only. How frequency varies? So the frequency of the carrier varies according to the derivative of message signal or m dash of t, not according to the m of t. Okay. So the phase changes according to m of t. So the instantaneous phase changes according to m of t. But so the instantaneous frequency changes according to the derivative of m of t. Okay. So that is simple relation. Why? Because so the frequency equal to derivation of phase. Okay. Now this gives the details about waveforms of FM as well as PM. Okay, you can clearly observe here. So this is frequency modulated signal. This is the phase modulated signal. Both are almost same. Okay, so that's why one more thing, they have a constant amplitude. So both are almost same. That's why we study about only frequency modulation. Okay, so properties is, so the transmitted power of any FM signal is constant, that is equal to AC square by 2. So here it does not depend upon beta. So if you remember in AM, what is the transmitted power of AM? That is PT equal to what is PC into 1 plus mu square by 2. So there it was depend upon modulation index mu. But here, so the transmitted power of FM signal is independent of its modulation index beta. Okay, it is always constant, that is it's square by 2. So anyway, so both angle modulated signals are non-linear because they violate the principle of superposition. So narrowband FM. So if beta is less than 1, it is called narrowband FM. If beta is more than 1, it is called wideband FM. But simply we call it as FM. So if I say FM, by default it is wideband FM. Okay. Now this is what we have derived. So this is called small angle approximation. Please make a note of this. These are simple mathematics of trigonometry. So if you do so, you get like this. So this is similar to the AM equation. The only difference was the sign of this lower sideband is reversed. Okay. Now you can observe these two. You can differentiate these two. They are same, except so here the lower sideband is having plus sign. Here lower sideband is having minus sign. So that is the only difference. Okay. But so if you add these two by making mu equal to beta, you get a carrier component along with the upper sideband component. Okay. Now, so let us start today's class. Now let us see how to generate wideband FM. Okay. So if I say wideband FM means FM. Okay, I'm writing it is FM. So indirect method of generating wideband FM. So it is called indirect method. So there are direct methods also. We'll see later. Now in indirect method, how we generate wideband FM. Okay, here first we generate narrowband FM. What we generate? Narrowband FM, which means what? So narrowband FM means what? It has got beta value less than 1. Okay. So we use something called frequency multiplier. Then we make it wideband FM. Okay. So tell me, what is the difference between narrowband FM and wideband FM? What is the difference? Anybody? So in narrowband FM, beta is less than 1. In wideband FM, beta is more than 1. So that's why it's called indirect method of generating wideband FM. Why? Because we are not generating wideband FM directly. What are we doing? First, we are generating narrowband FM and converting it into wideband FM. How? By using a frequency multiplier. So it multiplies frequency by how many times? N times. It is multiplication by n, not xn. It is multiplication by n. Okay. So let us see. So here, this is the instantaneous frequency of the carrier. Okay. Now, if you give this to the frequency multiplier by n times, you get output that is n times the Fi of t. Okay. Which means, so if the frequency is, let us take x here. So to the input side, if the frequency is x, output side frequency will be n times x. Okay. Otherwise, frequency is f here. Let us take. Okay. So to the input side, if the frequency is f, output side frequency will be n into f, n times the f. Okay. So that's why it's called frequency multiplier. Clear? Okay. Now, so we already know that. So the instantaneous frequency of FM signal is generally like this. Okay. So FC plus KF AM cos 2 pi FMT. Okay. We have studied already. Okay. Now this is input to the frequency multiplier. Okay. Now what the output now? Input is Fi of t. Okay. Instantaneous frequency of the carrier. How much is that? FC plus KF AM cos 2 pi FMT. Output is F naught of t. What is F naught of t? N times Fi of t, which means n times this quantity. Means NFC plus n into KF AM cos 2 pi FMT. This is what the output of the multiplier. Okay. Now what is happening? Compare these two. What is happening? So here FC is there. Now it has become NFC. FC becomes NFC. So let me mind you, what is FC? Carrier frequency. Okay. So FC becomes NFC after multiplying with, after passing through frequency multiplier. Okay. Now what is happening? FC become NFC, and one more thing, KF AM becomes N times KF AM. Okay. KF AM becomes N time KF AM. So what is KF AM? Generally, what is that? That's nothing but peak frequency deviation of FF signal. Okay, which means it becomes N times FM. Okay. Now what about FM? Here cos 2 pi FMT. Here also cos 2 pi FMT. FM remains same. Am I okay or not? Okay. Now, so at output side, let us change. What are the changes happened? What happened? So here FC, it becomes NFC. Here KF AM becomes N times KF AM. Here FM, FM, it is still here also it is FM. Okay. So FM will not change. Is it clear? So please understand this. KF into AM is nothing but delta F. Okay. So otherwise, so what is KF AM in case of frequency modulation? We have studied already, I hope. What is KF AM in case of FM? How much is that? What is KF AM? Is nothing but delta F. Okay. So that's why I have written KF AM as delta F. Okay. Now delta F becomes N times delta F. You can say KF into AM becomes N times KF into AM, or you can also say delta F becomes N times delta F. FM is same as FM only. Now for beta, we know definition of beta is delta F by FM. Okay. Now it becomes what now? So delta F becomes N times delta F at the output of the frequency multiplier. But FM is FM only. FM is FM only, but delta F becomes N times delta F, which means beta becomes N times beta. Okay. Which means, so the modulation index is multiplied by N, or modulation index becomes N times. Now that's why what happens here, if beta is less than 1 year, after multiplying with N, it becomes more than 1. Okay. Now here simply I can say, so we give narrowband FM, we get wideband FM. So what changes will happen? Here FC becomes NFC. I'm simply saying, so the changes that are happening is FC becomes NFC, beta becomes N times beta. Okay. So the carrier frequency is multiplied by M times, and modulation index also multiplied by N times at the output of this frequency multiplier. Okay. So by this we can convert narrowband FM to wideband FM. Okay. So any doubts here? Please. Now, so if any doubts, you can ask me, please. So that they are simple calculations only. Okay, nothing to worry there. Okay, so let us proceed further. So how to achieve this frequency multiplication? It's done by using non-linear devices called nth law devices. Okay, what is nth law device? Input is x of t, output is x to the power of n of t. Suppose, so if it is a square law device, what is law? Square law device. Okay, so if input is x of t, output will be x square of t. Okay, so if it is, let us take third law device. Okay, third law. So if input is x of t, output will be x of t whole cube. If it is fifth law device, if input is x of t, output will be x of t whole power 5, something like this. Okay, so in that sense, we can achieve the non-linear. We can achieve this by using a non-linear device. They are simply called as nth law devices. Okay, why? Because so if input is, let us take cos theta. Okay, so here we have a square law device. Output is what? Cos square theta. Cos theta becomes cos square theta. Am I okay or not? So if it is a square law device, input is cos theta, then output would be cos square theta. Now what is cos square theta? 1 plus cos 2 theta, isn't it? Now what happened? So here it has cos theta, it has become 1 plus cos 2 theta. Now that theta is multiplied by 2. Okay, same thing. If input is cos theta, let us take, if it is a third law device, output will be cos cube theta. You know outright cos cube theta, the formula of cos cube theta. Okay, so like that you will get the argument of cos theta will be multiplied by n times. If here it's theta, it becomes n theta. So you can do that by using a frequency multiplier that can be done by nth law device. They are non-linear devices. Okay. So what happens? Now the changes are the carrier frequency becomes NFC and the modulation index becomes n times beta. Okay. So if beta is less than 1 here, suppose in narrowband FM, beta will be less than 1. Now here what happens? That beta will be multiplied by n. Okay, you get n times beta. If n is 10, let us take. Okay, then what happens? 10 beta. So if beta is less than 1, but 10 beta will be generally more than 1. Okay, so then it becomes wideband FM. Okay, so narrowband FM having beta less than 1, so becomes wideband FM having beta more than 1. Here wideband FM or simply FM both mean same. Okay, so if I say FM, by default I am referring what? By wideband FM. Okay, so this is how we generate wideband FM signal. It is an indirect method. So there are direct methods also. We'll discuss later. Okay. Now, so this is about modulation, you can say. So generation is nothing but modulation. Okay, getting a wideband FM signal in indirect method. Okay. Now, so any doubts here? Please. Okay.
So once again, nth law device explained, sir.
Nth law. See, nth law device is nothing but it is a multiplying the frequency. Okay, suppose it is square law device. Means what? Input is, if input is x of t, output will be x square of t. That is a square law. So what do you mean by that? Output will be square of the input. If it is third law device, means what? Output will be a cube of the input. If it is fourth law, output will be x of the whole power 4. Is it okay? So suppose if you take a diode,
Yes, sir.
that is a nonlinear device. If you output of diode will be having square terms, square, cube, all those things. Okay. Now what happens is if input is x of t, if it is square law device, output will be x of t whole square. Okay, by default. Suppose if input is cos omega ct, input is what? Cos omega t. What is input? Cos omega t. What the output will be? Cos omega t whole square. If it is a square law device, for example. Am I okay? What is cos square theta? Generally you write 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. Correct? Generally. So here what output will be? 1 plus cos 2 omega ct by 2. Am I okay? All of you. So input is cos omega ct. Okay. Output will be 1 plus cos 2 omega c into t by 2. 1 plus cos 2 omega ct by 2. Am I okay? So here it was having frequency omega c, but here it becomes 2 omega c. Okay, you take a pen and paper. So let us take input is x of t, that equal to cos theta. Output will be x square of t, that is cos square theta. What is cos square theta? 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. Am I right or not? Okay. Now here input side we are having only cos theta, but output side we are having cos 2 theta term, cos 2 into theta. What happened? So the theta has become 2 times theta. Okay. In the same way, if it is third law device, you get cos 3 theta. If it is fourth law, you get cos 4 theta, like that. Okay. If it is nth law, you get cos n theta. Okay. Now, so everything inside the cos term is getting multiplied by n. That is what I want to explain. Is it okay, all of you? Okay. So this is how you get. But the problem is, we want only beta to be multiplied by n. Am I okay? So here in wideband FM also, what a wideband FM equation, that is also having carrier frequency at FC only. Okay, so you can minimize this, you can remove this by using some filtering. Okay, you can do that later. But anyway, so more or less, it is a wideband FM having a center frequency or carrier frequency at FC and having a index beta much more than 1. Okay. Now one more thing, you must choose this n suitably. That is very important. Choosing n also very important. Why? Because suppose here beta equal to 0.5. Beta equal to how much? 0.5. So this narrowband FM having a beta equal to 0.5. Now tell me what would be the minimum value of n? What is that? So that it becomes wideband FM. Anyone? You got my question? So here narrowband FM having a beta equal to 0.5. Now what will be the minimum value of n so that it becomes wideband FM? Anyone? What the answer? You got my question or not? Anyone? You got my question or shall I repeat the question? So what I'm asking is, here beta is less than 1, obviously. Let us take beta equal to 0.5. Okay. Now, so what would be the minimum value of this n so that it becomes wideband FM? What?
3, sir.
Yeah, it should be more than 3. Means you must choose third law device, more than third law device. Why? Because so it is 0.5. So if you multiply with 3, if n is 3, this is 0.5. If n is 3 by 2, you get 1.5, more than 1. Okay. So like that, you have to choose the value of n also. Okay. So the choosing the value of n depends upon what is the beta at this narrowband FM. Accordingly, you have to choose the n value. N value means nth law device. If n is 3, it is called third law device. If n is 4, it is called fourth law device, etc. Okay. Anyway, now so let us go to the spectrum of FM signal. Okay. Now so here it is somewhat difficult to study the spectrum of FM signal. We have studied spectrum of all those signals: AM, DSBSC, SSB, VSB. They were simple, but here it is not simple. Why? Because it is non-linear. Okay. So this is the FM equation. If m of t is sinusoidal message signal, we know already. Okay. Now, so here I will write one more FM equation. Please pay your attention. Now, by using some simple calculations, which I am not writing here. So, by using the complex representation of band pass signal or passband signal, can you tell me what is the representation of passband signal? Are you present? Anyone? So I told you already. Any passband signal can be written as x of t equal to xi of t cos 2 pi f ct minus xq of t sin 2 pi f ct. So by using that basic idea, now we will write the FM equation like this. Okay. So there will be some calculations which I'm not writing here, but so you must remember this. So there is no other way. Okay. So it is also a FM equation only. Please remember this. It is also FM equation only. What is that? S of t equal to AC. Please pay your attention here. So if you have pen and paper, please may write down this. Okay. So I have not done any calculations here. Okay. Please make a note of this. This is also FM equation only. Okay. But so it comes from where? Complex representation of passband signal. Now S of t equal to AC. AC is for all summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity jn beta. I will tell you what is that. Cos 2 pi fc plus n fmt. Here what is n? N is an integer varying from where to where? Minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. So if you have pen and paper, please write down this, all of you, please. So the derivation, this derivation is not required, but so this is just, you have to remember this. That's it. Okay. So if you want derivation, I will post in the LMS. Okay. You look at there. So here it is not required. Now here, so what is this Jn of beta? Okay. So it is defined like this: 1 by 2 pi minus integration minus infinity, minus pi to plus pi e power j beta sin x minus nx dx. Okay. Anyway, so this is just definition of J and beta. Okay. So here, what you have done is you have taken, suppose you have cos theta. What is cos theta? You can write cos theta equal to e power j theta plus e power minus j theta by 2. Am I right or not? So from that we have derived this. Okay. So I have taken this. So by using e power j theta plus e power minus j theta by 2. So from that, so if you derive, you get like this. Okay. Here j and beta equal to, this is the derivation of j and beta or equation of j and beta. What is j and beta is called? It is called nth order Bessel function. Okay. So this is called nth order Bessel function. So you might have heard about gamma function, all of you, isn't it? Gamma of 1, gamma of 2, so and so. So in the same way, it is a Bessel function. What order? Nth order Bessel function. Okay. So this j subscript n, this represents order. Okay. Now of beta, what is beta? Actually, it is a modulation index. Okay. So this here, this j and beta is a nth order Bessel coefficient actually, or nth order Bessel function. So just like gamma function, you might have studied already. In the same way, it is called Bessel function. Okay. I hope it is new to you, but so please make a note of this. J and beta is called a nth order Bessel function of first order. Okay. All of you note down this, please. So make habit of keeping pen and paper aside, please. Note down this. Okay. Now let's proceed now. So here n will be minus 2 plus infinity. Why? Because it is in the summation. Okay. So next. Now this is the Bessel function waveforms. Here I have taken from the Google. So here x is actually it should be beta. Here beta, here j and beta. But anyway, so it is x versus j n of x. Okay, it is x versus j n of x. But in our course, what we use in place of x, we use beta. So j n of x should be the generalized Bessel function. But here in this course, we are writing j n of beta. That is what interests to us. Okay, so here x should be beta actually. Okay, beta versus j n beta. But anyway, so we'll study x versus j n of x. Okay. Now, so this is the j naught of x. Here, what is 0 represents? What do you mean by this? J naught of x. If I write j naught of x means what? 0th order Bessel function. J1 of x means first order Bessel function. J2 of x means second order, so on, so on. Okay. So these are all the waveforms representing Bessel functions of different orders. Okay. Now what you can observe. So as the order increases, here J0, J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, J6, J7. As the order of Bessel function increases, their value is decreasing. So here it is J0, first order Bessel function. Here J1. So it is less. Here even less. J2, somewhat less. J3, somewhat less. So somewhat less, somewhat less, somewhat less. Okay. Now finally, what I can say is, as the order increases, the Bessel function is decreasing. Okay. So this is the observation we can make from this waveform diagram. Okay. Now, so let us study some properties of Bessel function. Okay. Now it has got some properties which are very, very important and very simple also. So this is the first property. What a property? So Jn of beta equal to -1 whole power n j minus n beta. Okay. So Jn of beta equal to -n Jn of -1 whole power n j minus n of beta. Please make a note of this. So next, so what happens? So let us further elaborate this. Okay. So Jn of beta equal to -1 whole power n j minus n of beta. Correct? Now, suppose if n equal to 1, if n equal to 0, what happens? So J naught of beta equal to J naught of beta. Okay, because minus 0 is having no meaning. So J naught beta equal to J naught beta. Okay. Now if n equal to 1, what do you mean by that? J1 beta equal to minus 1 whole power 1 J minus 1 beta, which means so J1 beta equal to minus J minus 1 beta. I hope you are getting my point. Okay. So J2 beta equal to J2, if n equal to 2, J2 beta equal to minus 1 whole square becomes 1. So simply we can say J2 beta equal to J minus 2 beta. Okay. So simply this is what you get. Okay. So if n is odd, what happens? Minus 1 whole power n becomes minus 1 only. Isn't it? That's why J n beta equal to minus J minus n beta. Okay. If n is even, what is minus 1 whole power n? If n is even, that is 1. That's why J n beta equal to J minus n beta. So this is what we can write. I hope it is very clear. Yes or not? Okay. Now, so second property, it is very, very, very important. Okay. Now, so for small values of modulation index beta, if beta is very, very small, what do you mean by that? If beta is small, what I'm referring to? Can anybody tell me? If beta is small, I'm referring to what? So what do you get in your mind if I say beta is small? Anyone, please?
Narrowband FM.
Narrowband FM. So we are referring to narrowband FM. Now, so J naught beta is approximately equal to 1. It is true for all actually. Okay, you can see clearly here. So what is J naught of X? If X is very, very small, it is 1. So J naught of X is almost 1. If X is very, very small. Okay, that is true indeed anyway. So J1 beta equal to approximately, there are approximations. So J1 beta equal to beta by 2. J1 beta approximately equal to beta by 2. Now J naught beta is approximately 0 for n is more than or equal to 2 or greater than equal to 2. Okay, which means, so if beta is very, very small, what are the significant Bessel coefficients? What are they? Can you tell me? So actually it is not equal to also. Okay, equal to is okay anyway. So in this case, so if beta is very, very small, what are the significant Bessel coefficient? What Bessel coefficient will be present in the spectrum or in the equation? Only 3. What are they? Can anybody tell me the answer? J naught beta will be present. That will be there. J1 beta will be there. Next, what will be there? What will be there next? Anyone? J minus 1 beta will be there. So what is J2 beta will be? 0. J minus 2 beta 0. J3 beta 0. J minus 3 beta 0. Okay. So you have only 3 Bessel coefficients. What are they? J naught beta, J1 beta, J minus 1 beta. What is J minus 1 beta will be? What is that? What is J minus 1 beta? Anyone? Yeah, minus beta by 2. That's it.
Minus beta by 2.
Okay. So please, after the class, at least try to analyze these things. What I'm trying to say. Okay. Because if beta is very, very small, J2 beta is what? 0. J3 beta 0. J4, J, everything is 0. Okay. So you're left with only J naught beta, J1 beta, and J minus 1 beta also. Because so here we have Bessel coefficient is for negative values of n as well as positive values of n also. Please make a note of this. Here the summation is from where to where? Minus infinity to plus infinity, which means so we are taking into the account of all values of n, positive as well as negative. Okay. So but the relation is like this. If you know positive, you can write for negative by using this relation. Okay. Right. So this is also very, very important. What is this? Summation n equal to minus 2 plus infinity Jn square beta equal to 1. It has to be equal to 1 generally. So it is not true for the small values of beta, but it is true for large values of beta. Am I clear? Okay. So please write down this. It is very, very, very important. Okay. So summation n equal to minus 2 plus infinity j n square beta equal to 1. What do you mean by that? Can you tell me? So j naught beta whole square plus j1 beta whole square plus j2 beta whole square so on equal to 1. Okay. So write down this all of you. Very, very important. Okay. Last property. As n increases, j n beta decreases for a fixed beta. I told you already here. As n increases, what is n? Order. What is order? Zeroth order, first order, second order, third order, fourth order, fifth order. As the order increases, so j naught of x is, j of x is decreasing for a fixed values of x. Okay. So we will come to know these things later. So please look at these properties once. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. Please. So these properties are very, very important. Anyone? Okay. So if there are no doubts, let us proceed. Okay. So I'm taking this equation. So I told you already. I am taking this equation for what purpose? Generally, to draw the spectrum of FM signal. Why? Because I told you already. So FM is a non-linear system. So drawing spectrum is not that easy. If it is linear, we can draw very easily. So that's the way I drawn spectrum very easily for remaining techniques where AM, DSBSC, so on and so on. So for this, it is somewhat difficult. That's why we take another version of FM signal. So this signal. Okay. So Jn beta cos 2 pi FCT plus FMT. Okay. Now let us expand this. So expand this means I'm writing n equal to minus 2. I'm taking from n equal to minus 2. If n equal to minus 2, AC is same. J minus 2 beta plus into cos 2 pi FC minus 2 FMT. N equal to, I'm starting from n equal to minus 2. Okay. Next, n equal to minus 1. What happens? AC as it is J minus 1 beta cos 2 pi FC minus FMT. Plus, next, plus AC n equal to 0. Minus 1, n equal to minus 2, minus 1, 0. If n equal to 0, J naught beta cos 2 pi FCT, because this becomes 0. Okay. Cos 2 pi FCT plus n equal to 1, you get like this. N equal to 2, you get like this. So this equation continues. Okay. So I have taken only from n equal to minus 2 to plus 2, but actually n varies from where to where? Minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. So this is the expansion of this S of t. Are you with me? Do you agree with this or not? Okay. So this is having infinite terms, but we cannot write all terms. I'm writing only 5 terms. Okay. N equal to minus 2 to plus 2. This is what you get. So it continues. Here FC plus 3 FM, here FC minus 3 FM, FC plus 4 FM, here FC minus 4 FM. So this continues. Okay. Now I'm not taking all those things. I'm writing all these things for explanation purpose. Okay. Now what are they called? Bessel coefficients. How many are there? J minus 2 beta, J minus 1 beta, J naught beta, J1 beta, J2 beta. These are called Bessel coefficients or Bessel functions. Bessel coefficient would be the proper terminology. So these are called Bessel coefficients. Okay. Now, so can you tell me? So these are constants. Okay. So they are not function of time. Okay. They are simply coefficients, something like constant. Now tell me. So what is the Fourier transform of this S of t? Anyone? I want to know the Fourier transform of S of t. I want the answer, please. All of you. So please tell me the answer. What is the spectrum of above signal? I mean, I want to know what is the Fourier transform of S of t. Anyone? Please answer me. I am asking Fourier transform of above signal. I am audible. Anyone? So please write on a paper and tell me the answer. I told you to keep a pen and paper aside. Anyone, please. What is there? It is very simple thing. So don't you know the Fourier transform of that signal? Anyone, please. Hello. Anyone, please. What is this? I'm just asking the Fourier transform of that signal. Nobody knows the answer? Okay, this is the answer. See, so in this term, the only thing that we should take the Fourier transform is what are? Cos 2 pi fc plus nfmt. Remaining things are not required. Anyway, summation is summation only, right? Because Fourier transform obeys property of linearity. x1 of t plus x2 of t. Let us take these two signals. What are they? x1 of t plus x2 of t. What is the Fourier transform of that signal? x1 of omega plus x2 of omega. Don't you say like this? Otherwise, a x1 of t plus b x2 of t is there. So take the Fourier transform of that signal. What do you write? A x1 of omega plus b x2 of omega. They obey linearity property. So summation is summation only. So j and beta anyway coefficient just like constant as it is. Now this term Fourier transform is this term AC by 2. Why? Because this is delta by 2. So we have written these kinds of things in case of AM also. Yes or not? All of you. So please read the please go through the videos at least 2 times. Otherwise, at least go through the PPTs I have shared with you. Don't simply listen the classes. Okay. So you must understand everything very clearly. I'm just asking the Fourier transform of cos theta. Nothing more than that, isn't it? Okay. So this is a S of t and this is S of f. Okay. So can you draw this now? At least draw this first. What do you get? So how many impulses are there? Anyone? At least. How many impulses are there? How many? So this is the spectrum of FM signal. Please remember, it is spectrum of FM signal for what kind of message signal? Sinusoidal message signal. Okay. Very clearly, I'm saying it is a spectrum of FM signal only for sinusoidal message signal. Okay. So if n equal to 0, what happens? And furthermore, it is only for positive values of positive frequencies only. Okay. Sorry. If n equal to 0, in this expression, if n equal to 0, what happens? Anyone? N equal to 0. I am taking only n value equal to 0. SE by 2, J naught beta, delta, F plus Fc plus F minus Fc. Clear? Yes or not? So that's why here AC by 2, it should be J naught beta should be there. Okay. At Fc, what we have? AC by 2, J naught beta. It should be there, J naught beta should be there. I did not write here. So what is the coefficient? If n equal to 0, AC by 2, only n equal to 0. AC by 2, J naught beta, delta of F plus Fc plus delta of F minus Fc. Means at Fc, at minus Fc, at Fc we have a term AC by 2, J naught beta. So that is what I have written. I have drawn. At Fc, we have AC by 2, J naught beta. Okay. So if n equal to 1, what would happen? AC by 2, J1 beta plus, into delta of F plus Fc plus Fm plus delta of F minus Fc minus Fm. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? So at Fc minus Fm, at Fc plus Fm, we have a term we have an impulse having amplitude AC by 2 J1 beta. AC by 2 J1 beta at Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. Okay. In the same way, if n equal to 2, AC by 2 J2 beta delta of F plus Fc plus 2 Fm. Okay. Next, plus delta of F minus Fc minus 2 Fm. Clear? Okay. So at Fc plus 2 Fm, we have AC by 2 J2 beta. At Fc minus 2 Fm, we have AC by 2 J minus 2 beta. Okay. So these are all the impulses we have in the spectrum. So observe very carefully. First observe this equation, all of you. Expand this equation at least, all of you. Expand this. You take n equal to minus 2 to plus 2. So otherwise, take the Fourier transform of this signal and draw the spectrum. All of you, do it fast. Please do it fast. Suppose you take the Fourier transform of this signal, this term. What do you get? AC J naught beta by 2 del of F minus Fc plus del of F plus Fc, which means we have impulse at Fc and minus Fc having an amplitude of AC by 2 J naught beta. So I am writing only at Fc having amplitude of AC by 2 J naught beta. Okay. Now let us take this term 1. What do you mean by that? So take the Fourier transform of this term. What do you get? AC J1 beta by 2 del of F plus Fc plus Fm del of F minus Fc minus Fm. Which means, so we have a component at Fc plus Fm having amplitude AC J1 beta by 2. At Fc plus Fm having amplitude AC J1 beta by 2. Okay. Now let us take this term. Take the Fourier transform. What do you get? AC J minus 1 beta by 2 impulse at Fc minus Fm. Correct? Only positive term. So at Fc minus Fm, impulse having amplitude AC J minus 1 beta by 2. Okay. So in the same way, so if take Fourier transform for this term and for this term, you get few more impulses. These are the spectrums. Okay. So we have impulse at Fc plus Fm, at Fc plus 2 Fm, Fc plus 3 Fm, so on, so on. In the same way, Fc minus Fm, Fc minus 2 Fm, Fc minus 3 Fm, so on, so on. Okay. Now, so these are called side bands. What are they called? Side bands. How many are there? How many side bands are there? Anyone? How many side bands are there in the frequency FM signal spectrum? Anyone? Hello? Please answer me. How many sidebands? How many suppose sideband? This is sideband. See, this is the carrier component, no? So this is one sideband, you can say. It is another sideband. It is another sideband.
Infinite.
How many? Infinity. The answer is infinity. Okay. Now, so what you can observe here? So here, so these impulses are symmetric about Fc. Okay. So at Fc we have a component, carrier component, and so after Fm we have one more component. After 2 Fm we have one more component. After 3 Fm we have one more component. So in the same way here also after Fm, after 2 Fm, after 3 Fm. Now just read this point very, very carefully. So the spectrum of an FM signal contains a carrier component for n equal to 0 and infinite set of sidebands located symmetrically on either side of the carrier at a frequency separations of FM, 2 FM, 3 FM. So read this statement very, very clearly. All of you read this one. So what I have written there is, So the spectrum of FM signal contains a carrier component at Fc and infinite number of sidebands located symmetrically about Fc. And the frequency separation of FM, 2FM, 3FM, so on, so on. So exactly same thing happening here. So here, so this is spectrum having infinite sidebands. Okay, they continue like this. They go on like this. They go on like this. Now, how the sidebands are? They are symmetrical about this Fc. How they are separated? So they are separated. After FM, we have one sideband. This is Fc. So at Fc plus FM, we have one more sideband. What is the separation? FM. Okay. After Fc plus 2FM, we have one more sideband. What is the separation? 2FM. So at Fc plus 3FM, we have one more sideband. What is the separation? 3FM. Same thing happens for this side also. Fc, 2FC, sorry, FM, 2FM, 3FM. Okay. So on the either side of the carrier component, we have sidebands separated by FM, 2FM, 3FM, so on, so on, so on. So in that sense, we have an infinity number of sidebands. And furthermore, what you can observe is, so the sideband amplitude is decreasing. Okay. So this sideband, this is a carrier component. Okay. Next, this is the first pair of sidebands. These two are called, so Fc plus FM, Fc minus FM are called first pair of sidebands. Okay. Next, Fc plus 2FM, Fc minus 2FM are called second pair of sidebands. In the same way, Fc plus 3FM, Fc minus 3FM are called third pair of sidebands. So simply here we mention them as a pairs. First pair, second pair, third pair. Okay. Now we can observe very clearly. So the sideband amplitude is decreasing as the value of n increases. Okay. Here AC J1 beta having more amplitude. AC J2 beta is having less amplitude compared to this one. Now AC J3 beta is less compared to these two. Why it is so? Can you tell me anyone? Why it is happening like that? Why? Why the amplitude of the sidebands is decreasing as the value of n increases? What is the reason? Anyone? Okay. So it further decreases, further decreases, further decreases. Okay. So the sidebands amplitude is decreasing as the value of n increases. The reason is, what reason? The reason. Okay. As n increases, Jn beta decreases. That's why it's happening like this. Okay. So J1 beta will be more than J2 beta. J2 beta will be more than J3 beta, so on, so on. So that's why, so the sideband amplitude is decreasing as the value of n increases. So it is happening this side also. Okay, which means all the sidebands will not have same frequency, same amplitude, sorry. Okay, in the frequency domain, all the sidebands will not have same amplitude. Okay, as the value of n increases, the sideband's amplitude decreases. Why? Because it is a property of Bessel function or Bessel coefficient. Is it okay, all of you? Okay. Now this is the spectrum of FM signal having infinity number of sidebands. Okay. Now the question is, what is the bandwidth of FM signal? Anyone? What is the bandwidth of FM signal? Theoretically, what is the bandwidth of FM signal? Now tell me. Actually, from the spectrum only, we will write bandwidth. Is it not? See, first, in case of AM, what you have done? We have drawn the spectrum. Then we have found out bandwidth. Same thing, DSBSC, SSB, BSB. In all those cases, after drawing the spectrum itself, we can find out bandwidth. The same way. Now I am asking you, so after showing you the spectrum, what is the bandwidth of FM signal? Theoretically, just tell me. What is the answer? Who will tell me the answer, please?
Infinity.
Infinity. Why? Reason is it is having infinity sidebands. Okay, suppose. So if it is having only one pair of sidebands, what would be the bandwidth? One pair means Fc minus Fc plus Fm, Fc minus Fm. Let us take, so these two only present. We have a carrier component and we have Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. Let us take So there are only two sidebands. What are they? FC plus FM, FC minus FM. In that case, what is the bandwidth?
2FM.
2FM. What is this length? 2FM. Suppose if it is having two sidebands, what is the bandwidth? Two sidebands means what? FC plus 2FM and FC minus 2FM. So these are having only one sideband. It is having two sidebands. Suppose if you take only two sidebands, means what? So FC plus FM here, FC minus FM here. Now what do you write here? What is the bandwidth?
4FM.
4FM. Okay. In the same way, if I take three sidebands, otherwise three pairs of sidebands, what would be the bandwidth? Means what? So FC plus 3FM, FC minus 3FM. So if I take three pairs of sidebands, now amplitude, the bandwidth would be 6 FM. How much is that? 6 FM. The same way, if I take infinity number of sidebands, theoretically the bandwidth would be infinity. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay. See, it is similar to AM only. In AM, we have only one sideband, one pair of sidebands at least. What are they? Upper sideband and lower sideband. So it is something like upper sideband. It is something like lower sideband. Okay. So it is similar to the spectrum of AM only. In the spectrum of AM, we had only one pair of sidebands. What are they? Upper sideband and lower sideband. But here we have a infinity pairs of sidebands. That is the only difficulty. That is the only difference I say. Okay. So this is FC plus FM. FC minus FM is called first pair of sidebands. FC plus 2FM. FC minus 3FM is called second pair of sidebands. So these are called third pair of sidebands. So on so. Okay. So if you take k pair of sidebands, what would be the bandwidth? Anyone? Tell me. So if I take k pairs of sidebands, hello. If I take one pair, what is the bandwidth? 2FM. Two pairs, what is the bandwidth? 4FM. Three pairs, what is the bandwidth? 6FM. If I take k pairs, what is the bandwidth? Anyone?
2KFM.
2KFM. Okay. So that is the logic. I hope you're okay with this, all of you. Okay. So these are the FC plus FM, FC minus FM are called first pair. Okay. FC plus 2FM, FC minus 2FM is called second pair of sidebands. FC plus 3FM, FC minus 3FM, so on, so on. FC plus KFM, FC minus KFM is called kth pair. FC plus NFM, FC minus NFM is called nth pair. Okay, so like this. How are the sidebands? They are symmetric about FC. Okay, so please read this statement very, very clearly. Okay, theoretically, the bandwidth of FM is infinity. Obviously, it has to be infinity theoretically. Okay, but so it is meaningless. Bandwidth is infinity is meaningless. Okay, actually, it should be a finite quantity. Now, so let us think about this. Now, just read the statement once. We are running out of time. Please read fastly. So read that statement, please. What I have written there is, for a special case of beta small, beta being small, compared with unity, which means beta is less than 1, means I am referring to what? Narrowband FM. Only Bessel coefficients J0 beta, J1 beta have significant values, so that FM signal is effectively composed of a carrier and a single pair of sidebands at FC plus FM. So what I'm asking you is, can you draw the spectrum of narrowband FM? Anyone? Okay. I am asking you to draw the spectrum of narrowband FM. Draw, all of you. So now just draw the spectrum of narrowband FM. See, this is the spectrum of wideband FM. Okay. So what would be the spectrum of narrowband FM? So before that, let us go to the properties. Yeah, these properties. This property is very, very important. So we can write everything from this property. All of you write down this property in your paper. Write down this property first of all of you. So what you write is J naught beta equal to 1, J1 beta equal to beta by 2, J minus 1 beta equal to how much? How much? What is J minus 1 beta equal to? Anybody?
Minus beta by 2.
Minus beta by 2.
Minus beta by 2. So next write down J2 beta, J3 beta, J4 beta, everything is 0. Write down these properties all of you in your paper. Please write down. Okay, next. So let us go to the, is it over? Did you write it down or not? Write down all these things on a paper, first of all.
Yes,
J naught
sir.
beta equal to 1, J1 beta equal to beta by 2, J minus 1 beta equal to minus beta by 2, J2 beta, J3 beta, J4 beta, everything is 0. If n is more than 2, that is 0. More than if n is greater than or equal to 2, this is 0. Okay, let us go to this. The spectrum. So what happens? What is J2 beta in case of narrowband FM? What is J2 beta?
0.
0. J3 beta? 0. So if J2 beta is 0, what is J minus 2 beta?
0.
0. J minus 3 beta? 0.
0.
So you don't have all the side bands. You have only how many side bands? One pair of side
Two.
bands. Two side bands or one pair of side bands. What are they? AC J1 beta by 2, AC minus J1 beta by 2. Am I okay or not? Is it okay or not, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Now, you know already what is J1 beta? How much is that equal to? Beta by 2. What is J minus 1 beta?
Minus beta.
Minus beta by 2. Draw it. What do you get? What is J naught beta? That is 1. You draw the spectrum. You have a component at Fc having amplitude AC by 2. Correct. Now we have a upper sideband at Fc, Fc plus Fm having amplitude how much? What is amplitude?
AC beta by 4.
AC beta by 4. Now you have a lower sideband having at Fc minus Fm having amplitude how much? Please, how much? Amplitude how much?
Minus AC beta by 4.
Minus AC beta by 4. Am I right or not? Now that's why you write like this. It is negative, right? See, this quantity is negative. That's why I write downwards like this. You know how to write minus delta of t. What do you write? Arrow downwards like this. Okay. Now the spectrum of narrowband FM is having a component at Fc with amplitude AC by 2 and another impulse at Fc plus Fm having amplitude AC beta by 2 and another impulse at Fc minus Fm having amplitude minus AC beta by 4. Are you with me or not? Please. So write like this. A component Fc here at Fc plus Fm. Now here it is reversed. How much? Negative. Here it is minus AC beta by 4. I told you already. So the only difference between narrowband FM and AM is the lower sideband is algebraically reversed. Okay. So you draw the spectrum of AM signal, spectrum of narrowband FM signal. Compare these two. Okay. Now do one more thing. You make beta equal to mu. If beta equal to mu, what would happen here? Okay. So this is AC by 2. This is AC mu by 4. This would be AC minus mu by 4. Correct. Okay. So that is exactly the spectrum of AM signal. The only difference was lower sideband is the sign of lower sideband is reversed. Algebraic sign of lower sideband is reversed. That's it. So do one thing. Draw the spectrum of AM signal. Draw the spectrum of narrowband FM signal. Compare these two. Okay. That is the meaning of that sentence. Okay. I hope it is very clear to you. At least do this, please. I cannot teach everything on the slides. It is not possible. I need your support also. That's why. So after the class, at least do what I told you. Is it okay? So we are running out of time. So I will take only 1 minute. So here, so there is something called Carson's rule to find out the bandwidth. Okay. Why? Because So bandwidth is theoretical infinity, but it is not practically possible. That's why we need some rule to find out the bandwidth of FM signal. Okay, so that is called Carson's rule. So it is given by Carson. So that's what it's called Carson's rule. Now here, what the logic is? So the logic is like this. So if you take all the infinity sidebands, bandwidth will be infinity, obviously. Okay. Now I have a flexibility to take only few number of sidebands. Why? Because why? Can you tell me? Why? Because so if you increase the value of n, what is happening? The sidebands are decreasing. So the sideband amplitudes is decreasing if you move away. Away from this FC, or if suppose if it is FC plus 4 FM is there, it has a amplitude is even less. FC plus 5 FM even less. FC plus 6 FM even less. 7 FM less. Okay. So if you move like this, the sideband amplitudes are decreasing. Significantly they are decreasing. Okay. So that's why what we do is we don't take all the sidebands, or we don't transmit all the sidebands. Even though we have infinite sidebands, we don't transmit all the sidebands. Why? Because so if at all you transmit all the sidebands, you need how much bandwidth? Infinity. So that's why we transmit only few sidebands. What do we transmit? Only few sidebands. Okay. Now suppose if I transmit k pairs of sidebands. Let me repeat. If I transmit k pairs of sidebands, how much bandwidth is required? Just now you told me. How much is required? 2k FM. Okay. Now, so we have to find out what are those k pairs. Okay. So that is given by Carson. Carson given a logic. What logic? So if you transmit these number of sidebands, that is enough. Okay. So that is the introduction to the Carson's rule. We stop here. So okay. I want to take one class on Saturday, please. Okay, you tell me the time. So I will be ready by the time. Because Monday, so there is some problem. So I have to compensate. So please tell me the time. You decide yourself and tell me the time by today evening. Okay. So thank you. We stop here.